Good afternoon, traders. Joseph here from Eightcap. Welcome to part 2 of today's updates, and we're going to be finishing today with the economic outlook video, and we're just going to cover the high impact news that's coming out this week, and we're just going to run over a few of them. So there's nothing coming out today. There is a bank holiday in New Zealand today, so we will have a look at Tuesday. So Tuesday we start with the climate count change, and then we move into the flash PMI data that's coming out over Tuesday, and that will be covering the EU, France, Germany, Great Britain, and the US, and that's pretty standard. This data that comes out once a month, and it's the services and manufacturing PMI data. So you can see this runs through that day, and then moving along with Tuesday as well, we also have the RBA Governor Bullock speaking as well, and they'll be speaking. There's no set time for that. Sorry, 7 p.m. should be speaking. So just at the open of the London session. Now, the flash PMI and services data is quite important. A lot of traders will be watching the data just to see how things are tracking and are going in the economy, and just to see, the health of manufacturing and services. So the German data is rather important, and traders will be looking at that. And also the US data can have a bit of significance as well. Same with the services data in France and in the UK. So moving on to Wednesday's session. Now we have, let's jump over to Wednesday. So we have a fair bit of a couple of things coming out that day. We have the consumer CPI data coming out for Australia, and the RBA trim mean CPI data coming out. Now, the CPI data should be quite interesting this round. They are actually looking for a 5.4% the year on year, so it's a slight, 5.3% on the year on year. So that would be an increase from the last data of 5.2%, and looking for 1.1 on the quarter, and also 1.1 on the trim mean CPI on the quarter. So we will see if there's been any surprise increases in CPI. If there is, it's going to give a bit of a boost to the Aussie dollar, as people will be looking for further signs that we could see rate rise. That was mentioned by the RBA, but if the data continues to come out below what's expected and below the last data, that will continue to hurt the Aussie on the short term. So finally, on Wednesday, we have the German IFO business climate as well. That's coming out, so keep an eye on that one. That's coming out at 7 p.m. as well. And moving into Thursday, we have really the Bank of Canada rates decision. So we have the rates. The overnight rate is expected to come in at 5%. Traders will be looking at the statement from the Bank of Canada just to see what their thoughts are, and what their feelings are in regards to how the economy is tracking and how inflation's going as well, and if any hints about future rates policy adjustment. Now, so the press conference comes out after the rates decision at 2 a.m. local time in Australia, and then very early on Thursday we have Fed Chair Powell speaking as well, and then we move into the ECB rates decision as well, and they'll be looking at the 4.5% for the main refinancing rate. So that's a hold on the last data, and then traders will be looking at the statement as well just to see about any hints or ideas about future policy adjustment. And then we have advanced GDP coming out in the US, and looking for 4.1% forecast for that data, and then we have the press conference coming out as well. So moving on to Friday. So Thursday for now looks like it's the biggest day so far. Friday though, we have a couple things coming out. So we have the Tokyo CPI X food energy data year on year. We also have the CPI data as well, and then we have the core PCE price index coming out of the States, and we have the revised UAM consumer sentiment as well coming out on Saturday. So traders will be looking at the core PCE price index as an inflationary data tool, and just going to the Tokyo core CPI, they're looking to 2.5%, and they'll be viewed just to see how inflation is tracking, if there's been any movements in Japan. Now, Thursday definitely is the key day of the week. The CPI in Australia is also one to keep an eye on. That should also be quite interesting just to see if we get any surprises there. The Aussie's been a bit weak last week after the employment data didn't really live up to expectations at all. So I think traders will be keeping an eye on that one. Now, if it does come in at lower than expected or below the last data, can expect possibly some further moves lower by the Aussie on the short term. And if you're a CAD trader and from the Euro point of view, we have a fair bit of action coming out on Thursday, and advanced GDP as well is one to keep an eye out on coming out from the US, and if there's any surprises there. So looking for a pretty strong increase to 4.3% over the last data at 2.1%, and just tomorrow, Tuesday, the flash data, if there's any surprises there, you can see a bit of movement in the euro and also in the pound and in the USD, just depending on what comes out to what's expected. So really Tuesday and Thursday are the key days, and in between that, the Australian CPI data likely for us. And Friday there's a little bit of inflation data as well. So that's it for today's economic outlook update. Thank you very much for your time, and we will finish off with a market update a bit later today. So again, have a fantastic week. All the best to your trading. Do just manage your risk if you are trading on the news, as it can you can see unexpected volatile moves that can cause a little bit of grief with risk if you aren't managing your risk correctly. Now, also keep an eye on yields. Oil's been a bit weaker so far today, so keep an eye on tensions in the Middle East with effects there, and we'll see if there's any big data misses or any surprises coming out this week in the data. So all the best, thanks again, and bye for now.